Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory have been serving Quad City families and veterans since 1889. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes are located in Rock Island, Milan, and Reynolds, and are proud supporters of WQPT. Alternatives is a proud supporter of WQPT and has been serving our community for 40 years. Alternatives provides professional guidance to maintain independence and quality of life for older adults and adults with disabilities.
The city's largest school district is about to start a new school year, and Ballet Quad Cities is about to start a new season by heading outdoors and taking over a lawn in the cities. Summer is almost over and the back-to-school routine has already begun. And although the school doors aren't all open yet, those inside many of the classrooms are already making sure some of the problems from the past are not repeated in the future. In Iowa, there are new school regulations mandated by the state, as parents are also demanding better security measures in the shadow of the Texas school shooting last May. But that's just a few of the issues that are facing educators. We talked with Davenport School Superintendent T.J. Schneckloth, who is dealing with these issues and is now doing so without a state-mandated review of district operations that was imposed by the State Board of Education. It's 2022-2023 school year right now. What can the students expect this year?
Well, right now our teachers and administrators are preparing for the school year. We've done our initial staff trainings, we've done our initial meetings, and the energy is completely different. Things feel so much more closer to normal. There's still some effects of COVID, examples, staffing, things of that nature. But our teachers are excited. The buildings are clean. You can see the buses out running routes to get the timing down. Registrations winding up. And so some pretty exciting things coming this year, leaning more towards normal. And that's something that our community staff and students and community are desperately needing in this as we round out the pandemic. So pretty exciting time of the year for educators. You know, this time of year, the educators have this feeling that during the summer, it's a very relaxed feeling. Well, once the school year starts, then every night starts to feel like Sunday night. And then Sunday night starts to feel like I'm excited for my kids to come back. And I think that's the spot we're in right now with all of our educators and students and staff. It's kind of neat to go into the community stores and see people buying school supplies and things of that nature. So it's a pretty exciting time in education.
Well, and for Davenport, it's kind of unique as well because this is going to be their first year in quite a while that you're starting the school year fully accredited, that the State Board of Education is now giving you leeway to run the district. How will parents or students notice any difference off the bat in regards to that?
Well, the main difference for us is the operational control piece. And so our students probably won't notice that much of a difference, but just in terms of the ability to make our own decisions, the ability to see what the next steps are, and that's what we're doing. The school board and the district have done some really great things to put procedural items in place to kind of help prevent us from backsliding. So I'm very excited. Our budget is in a very healthy place. We're going in the right direction. We have some committee work that's going on right now that's very positive. And so we are also putting in structures in place to hear the equity and voice inside of our community. And so I'm very excited about that. And so those are some of the things that you'll see. And an example of that, we're going through our long-range facility plan. We conducted our first community meeting last Thursday, and it was wonderful. We got great feedback from our community. And so those are some of the things that you can notice a difference in Davenport schools having operational control over itself.
And I do want to talk about those other issues that you brought up, but let's talk about one of the standards that the state wanted you to improve on, and that is pretty much how minorities are treated inside the Davenport School District. I mean, that seems to have been I know you have so many priorities, but that had to be one of the ones that you wanted to get right away.
Oh, absolutely. And this is not something that we're going to solve overnight, as we didn't arrive here overnight. So the best way for us to go about it is through systems, procedures, and policies. And so we are adopting PBIS. We're also working with some national experts. It's always good to have a fresh set of eyes come in and look at your practices that you're doing inside your district. And so we really want to go slow to go fast, knowing that we have to make the changes necessary right now for our students that are in the seats. And so, those are just a couple of the things that we are working towards. Plus, establishing regular meetings with some of our community members. We meet monthly with the NAACP. We meet regularly with LULAC. We meet regularly with the city, just to make sure that we are in line with the priorities of our community leaders. So that's been something that's been high on our focus. This year, the school board is going to be initiating a data wall that will allow us to keep track of our data and make sure that it's going in the right direction. So, what you monitor gets done, and that's exactly what our school board is prioritizing. So I'm very excited about some of those procedures that are going to help move us forward and keep our eye on the right thing.
It also seems like for you, it's so critically important to be as transparent as possible, to have that open line of communication with not only parents and students, but also some of the stakeholders throughout the community.
Absolutely. Transparency is something that is absolutely critical in education today. When you look through legislation and you see some of the laws that are being made, it's to ensure that educators and educational systems are transparent with the communities. And so that's something that we've been working really hard on. An example of that is in our long-range facility plan. We have a tab on our website that every meeting that we've had about the long-range facility is up there. We live stream all our meetings. Last Thursday's meeting was live streamed. You can go back and watch it. And there's feedback links on the website. So we are absolutely trying to put everything out there, because one of the things that we've learned is the equity and voice when it's there. People are bringing wonderful ideas. This community is wonderful, and people want nothing but the best for our students and staff in this area. And so let's hear their voice. Let's listen to it. So that's something that we're absolutely focusing on and working on. Well, can always get better, but
yeah. And as you brought up, I mean, you're now right in a transformative process in regards to a look at the facilities in the Davenport School District right now, a reevaluation of all of its facilities. And I thought the report that came out recently over the summer put out a quote that said, "Fewer buildings with more sections is better for staff and curriculum." Is that the thought process that's in your mind right now as the Davenport schools go forward?
Absolutely. One of the goals for our district is to make sure that we're operating in the best way possible. So if a major CEO were to come in and take over Davenport Community School District, they'd immediately recognize that we have too many plants, so to speak, and which does not allow us to operate very efficiently. And when we're not efficiently using our dollars, then those dollars aren't going to the right places, like students and programs, and ensuring that we have the best staff in the area. So that's exactly right. When you have higher sections of a building, it allows you to be more operationally efficient. It also allows for more collaboration. So in Davenport schools right now, after going through our long-range facility plan, we haven't been right-sizing our buildings and our facilities, whether that be adding on to this part of town or not. So right now, the study that we completed, that we have a 3,500 to 5,000 open seats in Davenport Community School District, and that's incredibly inefficient. So it's something that we've got to address to allow us to be more competitive with our programs and meet the needs of our students.
That is a significant number, but I mean, you've been an educator long enough that you do know that for the longest time the philosophy was to have neighborhood elementary schools. So in other words, more buildings but spread out geographically so that houses and neighborhoods would have their own school. Is that something that school districts now are backing away from? Because that's what it sounds like.
No, it is incredibly important to have neighborhood schools where possible. And that's what makes a district like Davenport very difficult, because you can see how the town has grown from the river and started to grow out. If you look at some of our historical pictures, where Northwest Junior High, which is Williams now, and it's right in the middle of our district. If you look at all but two of our junior highs fall one block off division. So it's very difficult to maintain a neighborhood school. And so though, as our town grows, our schools are physically set into a certain part of the town. So that's why we really want to make sure that we're looking at data. We're looking at how can the boundaries be changed to ensure that our students still have somewhat of a neighborhood school.
And one of the things you're looking at is a new junior high school at Prairie Heights. I mean, you're talking about an area that is seeing explosive growth, so that is a factor as far as future planning is for Davenport schools.
Yes, so we have hired one of the best demographers around, and they've given us some very good data to show that a new building in that area could be supported, but also a heavy concentration of population around the Locust Street area. So we're looking to make major investments south of Locust and into the west. And so what we're trying to do is we regionalized our district, north, central, and west, and we're trying to make sure that we are looking at the data, looking at the numbers, and building where our population is and where our population is going to be.
What do you see as the timeline then? I've seen the report. I mean, you do have a timeline for the future of this study and implementation.
Absolutely. We have got to move on this. So at this school year, our goal is the middle of December. Our school board will vote on the first phase of our long-range facility plan. And the beautiful part about it is we're going to be making major investments. We haven't made a major investment in this district-wide in a long time. And so our students deserve the best facilities. They deserve a flow. I can see that my child's going to go from here in elementary school to here to junior high and here to high school. And so we have wonderful programs inside of our district, and now it's time that our facilities start matching that. Our facilities are good, but we want to be the best. And so that's the path that we're heading down.
I want to take you to some dark days back in May, and that is the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas. How is that shaping Davenport in the coming year? Because let's be honest, this now, we all know it. It can happen anywhere at any time, and that you just have to be better prepared. And the only thing that Uvalde kind of told us was that perhaps the school district was a little lax in some area, but that there wasn't a real good coordination between police and the local school district. Is that your takeaway from Uvalde as far as planning purposes are concerned for Davenport?
So what Uvalde taught us is that we need to be on top of all of our procedures and constant reminders. And one thing that we have in Davenport is we have a dedicated security officer, retired Sergeant Nyrink from the police department. He is not with the police department anymore, but he is our security officer. This year, he has done a complete audit of our district. And every time he does, he comes back with things that we need to adjust, things that we need to change. And for us, they were tweaks, because this is something that's at the top of our list all the time. One of the things that I am very proud of is the relationship between the police department and our schools. So the coordination effort that is there is something that is communicated with on a regular basis through our SRO program and the district security officer, Sergeant Nyrink, retired Sergeant Nyrink. And so I am confident that if one of these horrific incidences were to occur in Davenport, that our police department would run to it, and it would be highly coordinated. Obviously, you can't predict anything. But all we can do is be prepared. You know, when we did our audits and with the best practices, we feel that we are prepared for that. Obviously, it's something that's on teachers' minds and staff's minds all the time. And so we've been hard at work this summer to make sure that we are in the right place. Every year, our building administrators revisit their security plan and along with their other natural disaster plans. They communicate that with the staff, and they review those procedures at the start of every quarter with all of our students. And we practice those drills. Unfortunately, that's something that's normal inside of our schools. I wish it wasn't, Jim, but unfortunately it is.
There's so much that has to do with schooling in the Davenport School District that you don't necessarily have control over, state mandates and other legislative priorities. We're looking at issues like mental health, and we're looking at issues like preschool and funding and what books you can have in the library and what topics you can teach in the classroom. What is your priority as far as what you want to see the legislature to do to help you out?
So obviously a huge piece is funding. So we will be advocating for, a higher SSA this year. But just like you said, every year the school board sets its priorities. This year, preschool is a big one. One of the things that works very well inside of the Davenport schools is when students attend preschool. It closes the gap. It sets students on the right path. We would love to see increased mental health supports, and we would also love to see anything to do with the recruitment of teachers inside of the state of Iowa. And so those will be some of our big legislative priorities going into the next session.
Davenport School Superintendent TJ Schneckloth. Teacher in Service Days started already on Wednesday. The first day of kindergarten will be Tuesday in Davenport. Labor Day is not far off, and you might be trying to squeeze in some great summer activities in our area just before the school year starts. And Laura Adams has some ideas for you as we go out and about.
This is Out and About for August 19th through 25th. Downtown Moline will be rockin' and rollin' at the Moline 150th Sesquicentennial Celebration August 25th through 27th. And the Cordova International Raceway present the World Series of Drag Racing August 25th through 28th, while the Quad City Symphony Orchestra present the Riverfront Pops, the music of Elton John, on the 20th. Made Market QC is a handmade and vintage market featuring over 100 vendors at the River Center on the 19th at 5. Freedom Fest at Runners Park in East Moline takes place on the 20th from 2 to 10, and the Village of East Davenport hosts their Wine Walk the 20th from 3 to 6. RME's Live at 5 features Diplomats of Solid Sound on the 19th and the Beaker Brothers on the 26th. Mr. Speed, the world's best Kiss tribute, perform at Bally's Quad Cities Casino the 20th at 7, while Here Come the Mummies perform at Rhythm City Casino the 19th at 8, and the Shagadelics perform at Tangled Wood on the 19th at 7. The Christmas Letter Writing Club, a new play by Tom Akers, opens at Playcrafters Parn Theater. The comedy Leaving Iowa takes over the Richmond Hills Theater in Geneseo, and there's still time to catch the critically acclaimed musical Ride the Cyclone at the Black Box Theater in downtown Moline. For more information, visit wqpt.org.
Thank you, Laura. Another great event this month brings the ballet out into the open, quite literally. During the pandemic, Ballet Quad Cities tried to reach its audience in new and unique ways, and one such way was to perform outdoors on the lawn of the Outing Club on Brady Street in Davenport. It's actually a new tradition now that continues even today. It's also part of the new season for the ballet. And artistic associate Emily Kate Long from Ballet Quad Cities joined us to talk about what we can expect this season. Your last or first kickoff to the season is Ballet on the Lawn once again, Outing Club. It's coming up August 28th. Performing outside has its own unique challenges, I would think.
It does. It's also really fun. It's a great family-friendly show. It's a little bit shorter than some of our other performances. It runs about an hour, including an intermission. And the dancers really like it, I think, because it's a very fun, it's a little bit more casual way to kick off the season. Performing outdoors tends to be just very freeing. It's a really fun mix of all different repertoire. So there's a little bit of classical ballet on the program. We're doing a short excerpt from Swan Lake, and some brand new works, some traditional ballet Quad Cities favorites. So there's something for everyone.
Now
for
this all
sure.
came out of the pandemic.
Yes.
I mean, that's when you started doing it because, I mean, you were either doing stuff online, but not anything in front of an audience. So if there was something good that came out of the pandemic, and this would be it.
Absolutely. Our 2019-2020 season, we were set to end the season with Sleeping Beauty at the Adler, and we ended up canceling that performance. When we were able to come back in August, it was a matter of what venue can we use. Everything was still closed at that point, and the Outing Club very fortunately allowed us to use their lawn. The first performance that we did, August of 2020, we ended up having to add a third performance in the middle of the day because we were still limiting our audience sizes at that time. So the first two sold out. And then we brought it back again that September. We brought it back again last season. And this year, we're only doing an August series instead of August and September because of some other things that are going on in October.
And we do want to talk about that. But let's talk about the start of the new season. And I know that it's so important when you're talking about the Outing Club, but you also do so many things in schools, and you try to do anti-bullying, you do literacy programs. Tell me about the importance of the outreach. It's not just people coming to a theater and seeing you perform. You're really trying to get out into the community so much.
It's a huge part of our mission to be able to give Quad citizens of all ages, of all backgrounds, of all income levels access to live ballet in whatever form that takes. We do school visits prior to the Nutcracker and prior to our early spring anti-bullying program in Davenport and in Rock Island. They are so popular with teachers, they're popular with students. When I was still performing, would have students come up to me. I remember I was at the YMCA one time and this little girl ran past and said, "Hey, you're the lady from the ballet." And it had been several years. I asked her, "What school were you at?" And it had been several years since she had had one of our school visits. But it really leaves an impact on students.
The lasting impression, which is exactly what you want, but you never know if you're actually getting it. And that's a perfect illustration that you are. It's not only children, it is adults as well, right?
Yes.
I mean, just to try to get the magic of the ballet out to everyone.
Yes, and for people to really have an understanding that dance is for everyone, professional dance, live ballet performance is for everyone. It's not this sort of otherworldly thing that you have to have all this knowledge or understanding of the art form in a broader sense to be able to appreciate, to be able to see. So we try to bring the artistry of dance, the fun of dance, the way that dance can function as a form of nonverbal communication, a way of spreading just a really, really strong message for our community of all the great things that the Quad Cities has to offer.
It's interesting, I was watching a program and they were talking about how the 1800s, the upper echelons, the rich people, really destroyed ballet and really destroyed opera because it used to be the performance of the people. It was for large crowds, it was for the masses, and then it became kind of this elite thing, which in some ideas, in some minds it still is, and you really want to break that barrier. How's that going?
I think Ballet on the Lawn is a great example of that because
is.
we tend to get a lot of new audience members at that performance, people who have never seen a ballet before or who have never seen Ballet Quad Cities before. People are continually approaching us after the performances and sometimes saying things like, "Oh my gosh, I never knew ballet could be so much fun. I didn't
Right.
expect to laugh so much. I've seen ballets in New York or Chicago or wherever other big cities, and this was such a quality performance." So it comes from all sides that our audiences appreciate the excellence that we offer and also the accessibility.
Everyone knows the Nutcracker.
Yes.
Of course, the Nutcracker is
Yes,
coming up,
it's
but
a perennial favorite.
you have got auditions. You're recruiting for the Nutcracker as soon as September. You've
Yes.
got to be planning now
Yes.
for the holiday season. What are you looking for in September?
We have 2 auditions set up. One is for young dancers age 11 and older. That's Monday, September 12th. And the Thursday audition, September 15th, is for dancers from 7 to 10. And we have a lot of students from our affiliated school, Ballet Quad City School of Dance, who audition for the
Right.
Nutcracker, but we welcome dancers from all over the community. It's a really fun experience for boys and for girls. Students tend to make really, really good friendships. They have a great time performing, and it really brings the performance to life when we have.
And it also brings kids out. I mean, they can be in a shell, and all the different types of, whether it's drama or whether it is dance or music, you can bring kids out of their shell.
Yes.
So it's a great opportunity for that as well. Let us talk about October, because as you were pointing out, very important. Ballet Quad City is part of the Out of Darkness Holocaust Messages for Today, and you have got Our Will to Live, which is going to be coming out in October. Tell me about that, because that's such an important performance.
It's a really, really unique program. The focus for us is commemorating and honoring and really celebrating the lives and the work of composers who lost their lives in the Holocaust. With one exception, Arnold Schoenberg survived, and one of his works will be represented on the program as well. But there were so many musicians who had their careers tragically cut short, whose music has been lost, and what we are trying to do is to re-enliven that music and bring it out of the dark and reflect on it in a way that is commemorative and forward-looking and really brings it back to life.
Well, and that's a perfect way of saying it, because, I mean, you can picture that during the Holocaust, so many people were trying to destroy others, and this is the absolute opposite. This is to make sure that that which was lost is not lost forever. That which was destroyed wasn't really destroyed at all. Is it difficult to do some of this work with that heavy burden that you're thinking, or is it more that this is a true celebration of the arts?
It's certainly a little bit of both.
Yeah.
There's just so much information, and sometimes it can get quite overwhelming. It's also, it just feels extremely significant, extremely important to really do justice to these composers and continue to contextualize them.
Emily Kate Long, Artistic Associate with Ballet Quad Cities. And Ballet on the Lawn is set for Sunday, August 23rd with 3 performances at 1, 3, and 6. Our Will to Live opens October 8th at the Adler Theater, and you can check out the entire schedule at balletquadcities.com. On the air, on the radio, on the web, on your mobile device, and streaming on your computer, thanks for taking some time to join us as we talk about the issues on the cities.
Whelan Presley Funeral Home and Crematory have been serving Quad City families and veterans since 1889. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes are located in Rock Island, Milan, and Reynolds, and are proud supporters of WQPT. Alternatives is a proud supporter of WQPT and has been serving our community for 40 years. Alternatives provides professional guidance to maintain independence and quality of life for older adults and adults with disabilities.